I'm the only son in my family. I will respect tradition and will most certainly marry a Kalaidzhi girl.
It would be nice to be free to go out like other girls, but Kalaidzhi customs don't allow that.
Krivoditsi, a small town of 1,000 inhabitants in southeast Bulgaria. This is where 21-year-old Maria lives with her parents and 2 siblings. Maria is a Roma with very special roots. She is one of some 18,000 Kalaidzhi, the clan of the tinsmiths. Maria's uncle Mitko and Aunt Rosie have come to visit with their son Tani. Naturally, they too are Kalaidzhi. Maria's parents have gone to stay with relatives for a few days following the birth of a grandchild. So this year, she'll be accompanied by her aunt and uncle for the biggest event in the life of a Kalaidzhi girl, the Bachkovo bride market. 17-year-old Tani is also planning to look around for a bride at the fair. Maria, it is hoped, will catch the eye of a wealthy future husband.
What should I put on for Bachkovo?
I don't know. What shoes will you be wearing?
No idea.
Put the other dress on. Let's have a look. You had high-heeled sandals on. Try this dress. Let's see. I'm not sure. Perhaps. That's fine too. Or would you rather buy something new at the market in Asnovgrad?
Yes, let's drive to Asnovgrad and have a look. That's how our traditions are. Every time we have to wear something new, everybody's excited because of Bachkovo. All the girls are preparing for it. In fact, we look forward to it all year.
Maria has hardly any other chance to meet boys. Her parents are too afraid that she might lose her virginity. Then no Kalaidzhi man would marry her. Maria obtained her school-leaving certificate when she was 16. Not exactly commonplace for a Roma. For the time being, her parents determine how she lives her life. Later, those decisions will be taken by her husband.
We want to be modern, but we're not allowed to. If we went to a disco without my parents' knowledge and came home at 2 or 3 in the morning, we'd be in real trouble. There would be problems. My parents would shout at me for going out without permission, which is forbidden. They would probably throw me out.
Are we going to the market in Asnovgrad or what? Why is it taking you so long? Stop making up. You're pretty enough. You'll find a husband. Let's go.
In times past, the Kalaidzhi community traveled throughout Bulgaria, repairing and tin-plating pots, especially copper pots. Today, many Kalaidzhi have a regular job and their own house. The clan are said to number around 18,000. Where possible, they like to demonstrate their relative prosperity, compared with other Roma, preferably in the form of a car made in Germany.
We Kalaidzhi are spread all over Bulgaria. You'll find us in every region. Yambol, Stara Zagora, Haskovo, Varna, Burgas, Sliven. We are scattered like storks.
The Kalaidzhi are open-minded with regard to modern developments. For young people, communicating via a smartphone or Facebook is completely normal. And young women are allowed to wear what they want, although this might simply be because the men's tastes have changed.
I think it's better when girls dress in the modern style. They should wear dresses, trendy shoes and short skirts. I like it when a woman looks modern, wearing rhinestones, for example. And the skirt should definitely be short so that I can see her legs. Clothes from the old days, like the ones my mother wears, are out of the question. Dresses and skirts that are extremely wide. I don't want my wife to be that old-fashioned.
But when it comes to choosing a partner, the Kalaidzhi remain ultra-conservative. Marriages only take place within the community. The men have to pay the bride's parents a dowry of between 1 and 10,000 euros. The prettier the girl and the better her reputation, the more she costs. Tani and his parents are also choosing new clothes for the big day.
Have a look at this. What do you think?
Rosie, do you reckon you can fit into that? You're as wide as a barn door. Just look at you. All the skirts here are a slim fit. How are you going to get into one?
I don't have any problem with modern clothes. It was only maybe 10 years ago that young girls started dressing differently. When we were young, we didn't wear any short pants. This is how wide our skirts were, this wide. If I could find a tight skirt in my size, I would wear it, but I would feel embarrassed.
I wouldn't allow her to wear it, no way.
I'd also be embarrassed to take off my headscarf.
Maria has finally found her new dress. It won't be her first bride market, but she has to appear in a new outfit every year, as again required by tradition. Hachievo is just a few kilometers from where Maria lives. The Tenchev family are having breakfast. Rosie is preparing French toast.
Тени, ще помогнеш ли? Подадеш кибрид, че нещо запалка. Давай, давай.
Tenny, I'm ready. You can start, but be careful. Make sure the flame isn't too big.
Tani heats up the pot with his father's Bunsen burner. From April to October, family life takes place outside under the veranda. The Tenchevs only use the house for sleeping. The annual bride fair is now only a few days away.
I'll check my phone, right?
Yes, do that. You know, Rosie, times have changed. In the past, we would wave to each other with a smile and say, "Hello, my love." Now the lad just types something on his phone. Back then, the price for a bride was still high, 15 or 30,000. I paid 30,000 lev for Rosie.
Quite.
We went to her parents and I asked them if I could have her for that sum. We got married in 1988.
And today, all modern people fall in love via Facebook. Incredible, but that's how it is now.
Just look what happens on this Facebook. A woman already has 3 children, but she writes to another man and then falls in love with him.
But his complaints fall on deaf ears. Tani is online round the clock, making arrangements to meet his friends and sometimes girls who are not Kalaidzhi. Right now, he's in touch with a young Bulgarian woman who has no idea about Tani's traditions.
Значи може да сме гаджета. Може, но по-големия...
We can become friendly, but nothing serious can ever come of it. I'm an only son. If I had 2 or 3 brothers, if there were several boys in the family, I could perhaps even marry the girl. But I am my parents' only son. So I will respect tradition and marry a Kalaidzhi girl.
Да си взема калайджийка от нашите. По принцип ще кажа, отдай казах и пак ще направя.
Let me explain. If a daughter of mine wanted to marry someone from outside our clan, I would do everything to prevent it, irrespective of whether she were from another Roma clan or a Bulgarian.
Значи, може би на месец-два... Нашето поколение самото е такова от мъжка страна.
That's simply the way the men of our generation are. My character would never allow me to accept that. I couldn't handle it. No matter how beautiful she might be, if my son wanted to take just someone or other for his bride, I wouldn't permit it. I don't have any other sons, and I want tradition to be upheld.
If we had 5 or 6 boys, I could perhaps accept a woman from outside.
People would gossip and say, Mitko's got no money, Teni couldn't find a Kalaidzhi bride, or he doesn't want to choose anyone from the clan. People would find out that Teni had married an outsider and then bring it up at every opportunity.
Stara Zagora is a city in central Bulgaria. Just over 1/10 of its population of 140,000 are Roma. As is customary, they live in their own quarter on the outskirts. While for some it may resemble a slum, many Roma live under worse conditions. But unemployment here stands at 80%. Located in the heart of the neighborhood is the office of the NGO World Without Borders. It's headed by Gancho Iliev, himself a Roma. He and his team carry out sociological studies and propose ideas on how the minority can be helped. The Roma generally don't accept offers like housing in anonymous apartment blocks or training programs for young women. Kalaidzhi constitute only a fraction of the population here, but a large part of Gancho's work focuses on this section of the Roma community.
The Kalaidzhi are a relatively small group, but one with very particular traditions. They have always maintained the rigid custom of marrying only within their community. It is essential for the women to enter wedlock as virgins, and that has consequences. Unfortunately, our studies have revealed a range of genetic diseases, including disorders of the peripheral nervous system, epilepsy, and muscular dystrophy.
Gancho is working on a project to document the state of health of Stara Zagora's Roma population with the assistance of 2 medical assistants. Zvezda is likewise a Roma. Gancho has purposely sought her help because self-assertive, professional women are the exception in all Roma groups, and among the Kalaidzhi, there are virtually none at all.
In our experience, the Kalaidzhi are the group we have the most difficulty in getting through to, because they reject virtually all outside opinions. I regard the way they behave towards their women as discrimination. Women are discriminated against, first of all through their role in the family, and secondly because they are unable to play an active role in society. This is the 21st century, in an age of advanced technology. And it's unacceptable that women should be restricted to such a degree that they lack even the basic knowledge and the simplest of skills for participating in the labor market.
In the case of the Roma of Stara Zagora, real day-to-day problems are also an issue. Makeshift streets that had no planning permission. So they are not connected to the water supply or sewage systems. Meanwhile, poverty and drug abuse are fueling the spread of hepatitis, AIDS, and tuberculosis. Around 15% of Roma here suffer from one of those diseases. No one has health insurance. The local authorities have sent a van with medical equipment and 2 doctors to take blood samples. Gancho and his assistants encourage residents to be examined. People know them and trust them. Back in the small town of Hachievo, we find Mitko demonstrating the tradition which first gave the clan its name. The Kalaidzhi were unable to prevent the tinsmith trade from dying out. Today, Mitko is rarely asked to repair or tin plate a copper pot. First of all, he scrubs off soot and dirt using hydrochloric acid.
When we were young, we repaired all sorts of things. Coffee pots, pans, and kettles. We did everything by hand. The machines that are around today were not available back then. We did everything by hand using hammers and tongs. And there was work for every one of us, no matter where we came from. We could also go to the market with kettles, jugs, and pots, and were always able to sell them. Nowadays, it's a lot more difficult. Back then, we used to travel from village to village. I would simply go up to a house, introduce myself, and ask if they had any pots and pans that need repairing. Then I'd do the job. There was lots of work for us. Today, maybe 3% of my income still comes from tinsmithing. People have thrown away most of their copper receptacles. Only a few people still use copper pans and pots for making iva, for example. We Kalaidzhi are prepared to look for work. Say I had nothing to do for 5 days, I'd get into my car and drive around the villages looking for work.
Virtually all the men amongst the Kalaidzhi have had to diversify. Today, they install guttering, a job where their metalworking skills come in handy. The work enables Mitko to feed his family, but it's not exactly his dream job.
If I had enough to do as a tinsmith, I certainly wouldn't work on roofs. If I were to fall off, who would look after my wife and the children? I wouldn't wish a job like this on anyone.
Tani is studying forestry. He'd like to become a forest warden in a national park. His attitude towards working on roofs is more relaxed because he's not forced to do it.
I'll decide in my own good time whether to do this or go into forestry. I just want to be able to feed my family, earn money and buy clothes. As long as I have money coming in, it doesn't really matter what I do.
The Kalaidzhi's big day has arrived. The bride market is held on a Sunday in late summer. The Tenchev family are leaving to pick up Maria, their niece. Then they all set off for Bachkovo Monastery in the Rodopi Mountains, 50 kilometers away. The annual bride fair is held on a parking area at the foot of the monastery, an iconic site for the Bulgarian Orthodox Church. But beforehand, everyone checks their appearance one last time. This is already part of the ritual.
We Kalaidzhi women love to make up. Ever since my grandmother's day, we've powdered ourselves and carefully made up to look as light-skinned as possible. Then we go to the gathering in Bachkovo to present ourselves. The most important thing is for us to be made up. Everyone wants a wife with a lighter complexion because that is more beautiful. That is why we do it.
The event is now getting underway. Kalaidzhi are arriving from all over Bulgaria, up to 5,000 Roma. Mitko and his family enjoy a fine reputation, as we can see from the way they are greeted. Respect is worth a lot of money. Tani will have to offer less for his dream bride. However, he has yet to find her. No one knows exactly when or how the bride market originated. The older folks say the tradition is at least 100 years old. But the opportunity for Kalaidzhi to organize a meeting in advance is definitely of more modern origin.
The girls who are more to my liking haven't arrived yet. We got in touch with one another via Facebook, and they said they would be coming here, so I'm still expecting someone.
The Kalaidzhi bride market is a marriage of authorized flirting and speed dating. It takes place every year on the last Sunday in August. The date and the venue are fixed. Everything else is more or less spontaneous, or not. The youngest of the potential brides and grooms are not even 15 years old. This is the only time of the year that they are allowed to size one another up and flirt to their heart's desire. If a young man is smitten, and initially that is enough, he makes his dream bride's parents an offer. This is followed by lengthy negotiations. Only then can a wedding take place. How much has he saved for her, a woman asks. A lot. But how much is a lot? The young man doesn't want to say. Someone in the group wants to know the exact sum. 100 euros, the young man jokes. Only 100 euros? She's not that ugly, the woman claims. How much did he really offer? In truth, 10,000 euros.
The girl I know hasn't turned up. I had actually planned to meet her here and steal her away. I drove here especially in my parents' Mercedes to do that. But she has stayed at home.
Why steal her? Couldn't you go to her house and ask for her hand?
Her parents want me to pay too much.
Some men do indeed try to seduce their dream bride in a car or in the forest. If a girl loses her virginity to a man, he gets her for next to nothing because no other man would ever marry her. Since Maria's father can't be present today, Mitko has assumed responsibility for ensuring she stays untouched. This year, the Bachkovo bride market doesn't really get going. Instead of the customary several thousand visitors, only a few hundred Roma have turned up. A rumor is going round that in the neighboring village, a nationalist motorcycle gang have blocked the main road.
That's why there's hardly anyone here, and we're also leaving.
Last year, the place was packed.
Our girlfriends haven't even turned up.
But Maria still has to expect an offer of marriage. In the past, if the offer was high enough, Kalaidzhi women were forced into wedlock. If parents try that today, they risk their daughter running away. Even though her life as a housewife remains pre-programmed, Maria is at least allowed to choose her husband herself. The rumor about the biker gang proves to be true. On Facebook, the news spreads like wildfire. The fear is that the gang could attack the bride market. As a result, the event breaks up. There's been a bit of flirting, but the time was too brief for serious negotiations.
I've met a few young men, but a lot more haven't turned up. I really wanted to enjoy myself today, so I'm very disappointed.
Не, няма такова нещо.
I didn't find any girl I liked.
Тук за мен няма.
This time there was no one that I fancied.
Няма тук, което това момиче да съм харесал. Не. Да, ще продължа, обаче аз съм...
But I'll keep on looking. I'm still young. I haven't even turned 18. Then I'll find someone. I'm certain of it. I'm the only son.